thing to drink.
So, do you live next door to the place where they took down the Sequoia?
I do.
Which side?
The black and white house, so if you're looking at the Sequoia, I'm to the right.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
The
Yeah,
one with
I
the
almost
really
cried
big
when I
flag.
saw that,
I videoed it and sent it out on Facebook, and I was
Why did they
so
do it?
upset.
because they're putting in sidewalks.
They sold it to the cabinet company up in Cornelius to
Oh,
make
good.
cabinets out of.
Okay.
But the trunk was over 6,000 pounds because they brought the trunk collar out and it lifts up to 6,000 pounds and it didn't touch it.
Wow.
Wow. Didn't
It
even
was
move.
just sad, I mean, I really.
You get to guard the pizza.
Yeah.
Hey, nice water bottle.
Thank you. Hey.
It says Century on it.
Pass me the water.
Excellent.
The
I'm sorry, I'll make
Thank you.
My kids want to go.
I
back.
think
Okay,
you're right,
all right.
all right.
I'm having one.
Good.
Yeah.
Hello.
I want to.
Traffic.
I'd
Like a
love
gallon
to,
or
but we're
I
on
got
drinking
12
break.
o'clock, that's good to
Yeah.
me.
Drink
Okay.
coffee.
We're ready to roll, folks?
It's just
Yeah.
though.
Excellent.
Second underneath Century. And you got Glen going to
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start with introductions. I got some agendas. I don't know if you.
Whip them out. I'll start from back here. Folks, if you don't know me, I'm Eric Squires. I'm your coordinator. To my left.
Hold on.
To my right.
There we go.
I'm Maureen Frary. Work at the sheriff's office for a long time.
Katie Riley, retired from OHSU Department of Public Health. Community volunteer.
Yourself, you, Matt?
Yeah, again, I'm Matt Simmons. I'm with Counter Drug with Bobby here.
I'm Bobby Vickery, the National Guard Counter Drug Support Program.
Thank you.
Should be front and back.
Oh, I see. That's why.
This is the hidden agenda?
Yeah, that goes with
Oh, I see. Perfect, thank you.
You had the original. Okay, so
Go ahead, you're next.
You're next.
Jaime Rodriguez, I'm the president, so thank you all for coming. Good group.
I'm Darlene Schnorr, also with the Sheriff's Office, been there since Noah.
There were two of you, right?
Anastasia Hernandez Vasquez, and I'm just a community volunteer.
I'm Emily Ritchie, the high school kid. Youth representative.
There you go.
The
Yep.
token.
The Holy Grail. You're like the reason why we're here.
Yes.
Right.
So we have a really simple job, is to keep you from wrapping yourself around telephone poles, especially during prom season.
Yeah, dude. Driving is scary.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Well,
Other drivers are terrifying.
Right.
That's what I'm going with. I like to consider myself a good driver.
I'm gonna jump in and let you know we're gonna be doing something. I need your elbow space. There's people who have stepped up. I'm still in your pen, and I'm moving your glasses. And a couple. Doing things like getting insurance quotes. They send us little $5 gift cards as thank yous, and for all different reasons. Because hey, as a nonprofit, we get these, so I've been aggregating them and also asking people for them as donations. So I got a couple people who just give these to us. So what Jaime's going to do is sign a couple of these, because we had some people step up. Shanda Risman got us headphones for our poster contest, and it was kind of, for you guys, this is a horrible story. This is what Coalition should not do. You heard the story?
I don't think I have.
Michael Phelps got caught with a bong.
Yeah.
Olympics. Okay, so these are his headphones.
Oh, nice.
So we decided to have an alcohol prevention prize, and then Phelps and his branded headphones get in the news for, like multiple DUI arrests and these photos of him going viral on Twitter where he's got his face in a bong. But anyway, Chandra stepped up and got us hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of headphones in order to give out as prizes. So yep, we need your signature there. Then also Jennifer Shelton has stepped up. I audio record the meeting so that I don't have to write everything down, and then it's all there. But for our DFC applications in the future, they may want written minutes. So Jennifer Shelton has taken our audio and transcribed some old minutes, and we have that. And as this volunteer is just doing things behind the scenes.
Cool.
This guy, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it is. You'll see here in a second. Should we give him one?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
repping Century, we gotta do it.
This lady
Oh, yeah.
is getting one, and since I have to turn the keys back to her office, would you, no.
No.
Kate totally gets one too, she drove me here.
Okay. Really? Just, somebody, yeah, you're left out. So anyway, I'm kind of working some of the, what I think is, some of the recognition is really important to us. Jaime also said we need envelopes, so we have envelopes.
Oh, that's good.
And these, as opposed to printing up 1,000, I can just print them off a couple at a time. So if you're working, a little, some little trick with a donor, need a letter of recognition, please let me know. So what I want to do is kind of tie this all together, is that certain people should get like a gift card because they've been stepping up, and or they made a donation, major contribution. And there's a couple people who've moved on, like Sean Hartford came to a couple meetings, helped us out, and I want to track him down in California and just say, hey dude, thanks. So I didn't mean to steal your thunder. Is our
No, that's okay. You gotta get these done. It has been a massive amount of work that we don't see here, but it develops over the course of the last time we met. So I'm appreciative of all the hard work, and without the individuals involved, we would be nowhere. So thanks for stepping up. And again, I'm appreciative of the fact that I believe that within Hay, we're doing something for the better part of our community. And every time I talk about it, hey, I think back of my own high school, and I was one of the lucky ones, only because I wrestled and that kept me out of the streets. Back in California, just about every sport is year round, so I only had to worry about December and I think July. Other than that, it was wrestling, more wrestling. But we also need to have just other projects, because not everybody's going to be into sports. But I think the awareness that we have to give out, that's daily input. Daily, we got to give them to the parents. We got to give it all the way down to the second graders, all the way up to the seniors, and even beyond the young adults who can, when they start making their own decisions, if they're not careful, they make the wrong decisions, and they hang out with the wrong crowds. So, again, very appreciative.
So your job is to hand those out. Be the
Oh, okay.
president. If they're not here,
Not here, I'll get back to
then
you.
delegate to have someone mail them.
Gotcha. So, Anastasia Hernandez, thank you much for your great work. Anastasia was, real quickly, helped out with the ongoing stuff, but she did an event, and we pretty much left her there for maybe 45 minutes to her solo, but she did great. And she also worked on a couple of back-to-school nights in September. Sean Hartford will mail it out. Sean Hartford was big in the forum that we had last May. He helped collect some prizes, so that was big on Sean. Kim, treasurer, where's she at?
She's sick today.
She's sick. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She don't want to share her love.
That kind of love can stay at
I
home.
love it.
Yeah,
Lasts
definitely.
forever.
Emily, our youth high school student, thank you so much for being part of us.
Thank you.
As Eric said, you're the reason why we're here, and not just you, but all high school students. Katie, thank you for stepping up, continuing your hard work for the community. Betty will be back soon.
She's in Mexico.
Oh, she is.
She's taking a vacation.
If you free, I was on.
Some nerve.
Jennifer, she's the minute lady, and she's in South Meadows Junior High.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
good.
And I
And then,
guess she was involved in Hay maybe years and years ago. If that name rings a
It
bell.
doesn't ring a bell.
How long have you been with Hay?
From before it was way from the beginning.
From the beginning.
When
So
when the
05,
person
04?
came to do the community development piece before it was a coalition, yeah.
Okay. And then Sandra. Eric, Sandra is.
Chandra Risman only came to one meeting, but she's the lady who got us the headphones.
Headphones, okay, gotcha.
Which was
All
just
right.
awesome,
Yeah.
except for the fact that it had that baggage.
And then we'll give out some,
So,
pass those out that way, one for Anastasia, one for. I'll give some
That's
out.
okay. You can give mine to Betty.
We going?
You can go that way.
Okay, we'll do
You can
that.
go way, Yeah.
Thank
you can, or we can pay it forward, we can use them as prizes.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't personally want to profit from working insurance quotes, that's not ethical.
Yeah.
But what
Right.
is ethical is that we reward people, and I just thought that it was now I'm in trouble because Darlene and Maureen didn't get the awards, and so I'm gonna get some angry emails here.
No, it's okay.
I don't need it.
We might get you next time.
Well, so thanks a lot for getting all this together, Eric.
Beautiful.
So we'll go ahead and start the meeting. Thanks for the introductions. Budget is number 1 on top of the list.
You know, I'm gonna sub for Kim, and in a very nice but direct sort of a way, we need to do a couple things. I gave Kim clear directions to do some stuff when it came to paying the insurance. She continued doing what was comfortable for her, and that was making payments versus paying off the entire insurance policy. The installments had a $20 fee attached, and so we were gonna have $50 or $60 left over for poster printing for the contest she's running. So she spent that down, and so what we've been left with is worse than being broke. Our insurance isn't paid off. It's like $10 from being paid off, but there's no more money in the bank account. So I also cleared up a mystery. I went to the bank in order to get a bank account balance. Kim told me that we couldn't have 2 people access the account. And that's kind of true, but kind of not. What we haven't given is 1 password and 1 login. So that can be shared among any number of people. But what I did is I just left this in the hands of our treasurer. So we had 1 point of contact, and we didn't have any communication going behind the scenes among anybody, and we just had 1 person accountable for the money. So Kim said she was going to cover the deficit for the the lingering $10 or $20, but it also led me to uncover yet another problem, and that is Kim and I went through a lot of work in order to get our PayPal account active on the website so we could receive donations. When that transferred from Michelle Rodriguez's name, we had a tough time pulling this through PayPal and getting the account information all transferred over. I personally made a $10.50 donation because I had a refund come in and it came to PayPal, so I just paid it forward. That has not cleared through the bank, and I'm identifying this as a broken linkage in our money system. So sadly, what I've got to report to the board is that I think what we need to do is have a buddy system where we have somebody partner with Kim to make sure the bills are getting paid as they need to be paid and on time. And I also think that from a training and leadership perspective, it's what I'm going to ask that the board considers, that we need to cross-train, and that's part of what we need to do as a board, is teach each other new skills, and to support Kim when she's out sick. I needed to bring the fact to the board that good things were not overdrawn. The bad thing is that we spent money that was in reserves for the wrong reasons, but arguably some of the insurance transactions were a little complex, and if you're not familiar with that, then I'm not throwing Kim under the bus, but what I am saying is clearly we have a problem. It's not a big problem, but what it's left of is without money to do what we need to do, and that's print posters for the contest. Any questions on this, or do you want to move on to the next item?
So just a comment, I mean, usually in organizations, there's a treasurer's report every month which shows what came in and what was spent. That's probably what should be done. I mean, there should be more than 1 signature authority on an account, so there should be 2 people who could sign, because, if somebody gets sick or gets run over by a bus, so that you have more than 1 signature authority. But the report should be at every meeting, and not just a verbal report. There should be a report in writing that shows what's been spent, what was the starting balance, what's been spent, anything that's come in, and then the closing balance. So that's really what needs to be done.
And maybe even if you have like funds that are specific for a certain
Purpose,
in that way, that always,
Yeah,
that
if
always
there's a
stays the
lien on
same.
those funds, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's really what the recommendation is.
So yeah, we do need to have a written report monthly given by the treasurer
Yeah.
on the budget of what's coming in and what goes out, and ongoing expenses that we have.
Yeah.
So we'll work with Kim and anybody to get that secured and more prepared for next month.
So for this month, I just basically went to the bank, said, what are the balances? Discovered we have a PayPal problem, gave you, the balances, which is basically we've got $1 in the savings and then 0 in checking. So there's no money in there. If we take the $1 out, we don't.
So is there money coming from the county? Has that, all of that $10,000 been spent?
No, on an as-needed basis, the county is going to disperse, I think, $2,700 for our next project, which is the bus benches. So the county is withholding funds until we submit an invoice for the next part of the $10,000 or $9,000 county contract funds that we're spending through right now. But I think that's the last identifiable portion of funds. I did have a suggestion, and that was my funds are kind of nebulous. And one of the things I did to help Hay out is that when I was running for political office last summer, I basically kind of just volunteered and took 3 months off where I didn't submit an invoice. And what this allowed us to do is have nice, even $500 a month chunks for my coordination work go as billing. It also helped me squeeze the money into not only even chunks, but into the later part of the year. So as opposed to me cutting out like in February or March, you've got me through, so we have a complete annual contract cycle. So I was thinking what I could do is volunteer for half a month and short bill the county and put $250 into the kitty out of my pay. But this is kind of the hint of why I was bringing the envelopes, is that one of the things we need to do as a coalition is do some fundraising. And it's not that difficult to do, but we have to have the mindset. And what we did is we parked everything like that on hold to focus on the DFC grant. And then I think we're probably not going to pursue that, but that's going to be something that Jaime's going to talk about. And if that's not the case, then we need to talk about fundraising. So,
Yeah, so fundraising's on there. Item number 2 is new board members. I'm continuing to try to recruit, and I'll talk to them more in depth about in the sector section on that. But I had some very good conversations with the Hops, Hillsborough Hops, and also with Laura Media Services. Laura Media Services did designate one of their employees to be here on board meetings on Wednesdays. Unfortunately, that conversation happened on Monday, and the schedule was already booked for this week, but hopefully for next month, and that's a good thing. On the Hop side, good news on there, trying to secure a sector signing from them. Didn't get that, but they did offer us a game night. They also don't know if it's going to be in July or August, but they'll print out whatever we need to have a drug-free night. They're also proposing a nonprofit night, which will get all the nonprofits in the community of Hillsborough a one night, everybody come up and throw your tables out there. So that's pretty good, and continue having some good conversations with them. And it's all about networking, as many of you know. My wife and I will be attending the Hillsborough Hot Fun Banquet. Okay, that's on March 7th. So I get to know the manager. And I think Ariel's doing a great job, but I need to know who her bosses are. Okay, and I need to build that relationship there. Okay, and I think that's going to help us really fortify our networking with the Hillsborough Hops. On Saturday, there is a Hillsborough Schools Foundation banquet, and I'll be there again with my wife, and the Hops have bought a table. So again, I'm just going to keep building that relationship until I know we can secure them. So next year, if we do the sector signing, it's a yes, and I don't even think about it. And that's my ultimate goal. But again, I think having the fact that they're willing to put up a drug-free night, print some material from us, and I couldn't forget, I was trying to bring a sticker up, but they had one last year, and it was a fight against bullying, or say no to bullying, and it had the Hops mascot, what it says, I forget his name, Hops says no to bullying. So they want to do something like that, but it's going to say no to drugs. And then I have a little logo, hey, on the bottom. So again, those are things that we're working on with the Hops night. I think even though we didn't get them to sign on as a sector, I still think we started off with some great things. And they are working on getting somebody from the staff to come to board meetings. So continuing to recruit board members wherever I can. All right. Number 3, volunteers and how Hay recognizes and manages their efforts. Real quick before I forget, on the the new board members, if you guys have anybody in mind, you guys want some help talking to them, let me know. We do have some material that Betty has sent out. If I have it here, I'll show you. I'll quickly bring it around. It's a why do you want to volunteer with Hay, and it gives you a nice talking points. Yeah, I don't have that, but I'll forward it out again to everybody else. So I want to go to number 3, volunteers, and how Hay recognizes and manages their efforts. We just gave out some certificates of recognition. Again, I can't say enough about it, and thank you, Eric. I also have about a dozen, anywhere from $5 to $10 gift cards. I'll bring some in next time. I'll give them to you.
I'd like
Just
to
collect those as we go forward.
drop a hint is that not only can those be used for recognition, but they could also be used for fundraising. One of the ideas I kind of want to drop on fundraising, maybe I'll talk about later on, but you know, gift cards, people do some amazing things with just bottles and cans, or in a nonprofit I'm dialed in with the Aloha Library, people have garages full of used books. And we're arguably creating living wage jobs by just asking people for their books. And so there's stuff, if you've got piles of these gift cards, we could auction them off. They could be a fundraiser for Hay. There's ways that we can convert that into money or good, just with the end goal of getting prevention clubs back in the junior high schools. So this is something we could just all message and just think about different creative ways to fundraise. But if you got gift cards, bring them on in. There's a way we can do some good with them.
So, item number 4, banking. I think you already touched up on it.
I did want to redress a concern from Kim Thayer. She felt that the service level at First Community was lower than it should have been. I'm finding that when I get in and do surgery on the conflict, I think 2 people were talking and they weren't hearing what each other was saying. And a good example of that was Kim said we can only have 1 person logging in. That's what she heard. But what the bank was telling me is you only get 1 login, and anybody can log in. And so what I did want to let you know is that I felt that in certain situations where we're getting the account set up, they wanted me to physically present to the bank, and then I get there and they didn't need my fingerprints, they didn't need to photocopy my ID, and it turned out to be a sales pitch where I sat in the manager's office and he went through a checklist to make sure I couldn't be cross-sold on 10 different products. So Kim's points are valid to a point. I feel obligated to share that information with the board because she felt strongly about having a further discussion about changing banks, and I think that's the appropriate point for me to close. That if she wants to continue as treasurer, a banking relationship that's comfortable for her is a priority. With, I think now it's going to be a decision between Kim, her treasurer buddy, and the Hay board if we're going to make that change. So I think that's all that really needs to be said.
Okay. Yeah, so there's some ongoing things that we need to work up with Kim and make sure that we're getting everybody on the same page. Grant writing. Grant writing.
Grant writing.
Number 5.
I am looking to try to get the Hay Coalition members to work more collaboratively with other nonprofits. So if I could hit rewind, I think it was about a year ago, we had John Valley come out from Senator Merkley's office. He's moved on in the nonprofit world and is not a resource for us, and we've kind of lost a contact within Merkley's office is in a little bit of turmoil, and so what we're not getting is the monthly grants newsletter that we're accustomed to. This is probably one of the best pipelines of grant information. What I'm doing behind the scenes with a number of different nonprofits is saying, this information is great, but it's being email broadcast, and there's so many other little sources of funding that people know about personally that aren't going out. And so I'm trying to get people to collaborate on peer reviewing other people's grants, finding out where small amounts of money are coming from, say directly from business owners with an agenda, find out who those people are, what their agenda is, and does our agenda match their agenda? And then working on more of an informal, private basis to get grants written. So a couple of the grants that I wrote for this organization were really easy. The Google grant, but it's hard to manage. And then other easy to manage grants we haven't utilized, like the Free Geek grant. I got us some laptops, but we don't use them. So the focus that I would ask that the coalition engage in is, one, is that if you come across a grant opportunity, I'd like to be your lightning rod, no matter how strange or how weird the grant opportunity is. I don't care if it's for a pallet of chocolate mint Girl Scout cookies. I don't care if it's for, farm animals, or if it's for, car parts. Send me the grant and I'll put it in the spreadsheet, and I'll figure out if there's a way we can shake money out of it. What I ask is that you, as board member, I don't think anybody expects you to go door to door in your neighborhood groveling for money. But what is a reasonable expectation is, if you want to participate in the coalition, is if you come across an opportunity, share it with someone. And I think that's my job, is to kind of sort and organize the random opportunities and be the information coordinator. What I'd like to do with that information is come back to you guys and say, hello, we got these opportunities, and as I've grown to know you in the coalition, I think this one might be a good half hour for you to spend on the computer. Could you go research it? And I'm not asking you to get to yes and write the grant. I'm asking you to give me 2 or 3 good reasons why this one should be thrown in the trash can. So I'm not asking you for a commitment of your time to do something. I'm asking you for a commitment to help me sort these. And we get a couple that are worth writing, and then we circle back. We say, who's got time over the next couple weeks? And we peer review a first stab. I'm no grant writing expert, but if you understand the process I just laid out, it's acclimatizing ourselves to finding opportunities. And Katie, you're a great example of what you're trying to do with Kofi. And that Kofi needs help from different, could I share the John Tyner story really briefly?
Well, I don't think it's really that relevant.
Oh, okay, well, behind the scenes, people are asking for connections to other people, things, resources, and help. And that's just what I'm trying to perpetuate with Hay. And you'll see these grant opportunities come up in the strangest places, like OPB. You'll be watching public television, and then this program was funded by, and I've started to write it down on my clipboard. The MacArthur Foundation, StoryCorps, SkullFoundation.org. And these are the people with the money to go out and do good things and create messaging in the community. So when you come across that grant, it could be just as simple as watching television and writing down the name of a website of somebody who's paying for something that's got a similar mission. And emailing that to me is, I think, a really reasonable ask at the coalition level. And then I'll kind of wrestle with the information, and I'd like to circle back, and as grants look like they could be parsed out, let's take a stab at one. And it may be just as simple as a 15-minute commitment of your time with a web form, where you don't even have to get out of a chair. You could actually call that grant writing. So I think that's kind of a good step to move the coalition forward into self-funding. So I guess I want to bite my tongue and not talk much more about this outgoing. I want to respond to any questions. Did this trigger any questions, concerns? Do you think I'm, off target?
I have a question about, you mentioned that the DFC isn't going to happen. Is that because we just couldn't get the pieces together?
I want to talk about that, but I think I'm going to let our president handle that one.
All right, I'll make sure I heard you correctly. What is it you said?
Well, Eric at the beginning of the meeting mentioned that the DFC grant probably not going to continue forward with that. Is that?
Yeah, we're going to get to sectors here in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we will get to sectors in a second. But yeah, that's an important one that I want to discuss a good 10 or 15 minutes on. All right. But continuing what Regular says, it is about keeping your eyes on any type of grant. Just get the information either to Eric or to me. I've written a couple of letters to my networks. Some of them wrote back to me and sent me a little one-page form, and I got the notes from what we had, and still hoping for the best. They're corporate grants, $350 to $500, which, I wrote 8 of them, so, 3 of them have told me no already, and the other 5 are still out there, so, again.
You're never going to tell. It's a crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot, exactly.
Keep
but
on
yeah, the
putting
thing is
in.
that it's continue to build networks, and hi, man, I didn't know you're involved with this type of thing. I didn't know that substance abuse was an issue of yours. I said, well, you know, it's in Hillsborough, and I just want to make it clean in Hillsborough. So, again, just put up, and then any type of information you get will be helpful for either me or Eric to go forward and see what we can get on that. Board training fundraising.
I think I kind of just covered that, but if I just take maybe 90 more seconds on
Sure.
that issue, is that grant writing and fundraising overlap, but they're similar. One of the best ways that we can just enhance the profile of the coalition in the community is to have one-on-one discussions. Circling back to the reason why there's envelopes on the table is that in certain circles, and largely political ones, there's a type of an envelope called a remit. Like if you get a bill and it's got an envelope in the mail, you remit payment. So what this is a formal way to ask for money. I think we've dropped the ball. We don't have printed remits available for coalition members when they're out at an event and engaged in the community. So Jaime and I have worked behind the scenes since the last meeting or two where I've drafted letters that would help a coalition member ask for money. And these can be easily reworked to ask for specific support from community members, whether it's directly from a person, a business, a nonprofit. And that what I want to do is empower everybody at the table to have what they need when they go into that conversation. Whether that's, and some of the things I've gotten pushback on, like I asked if people wanted business cards, and the answer was kind of no. So maybe another month or two, ask again. Because I think a business card says you're professional, an envelope says that you've thought this out, and that the coalition has enough buy-in to be organized enough to say, here's an ask. That's a very uncomfortable conversation for somebody, and it wasn't until I was in my late 30s, so kind of nudging Emily to my left. It's like, if I was asked to do that in high school, I'd freak out and run away. But here's what I found is when you deliver an authentic story and say, you know, here's my story, you know, this happened and my best friend died and they got, you know, boo-boo telephone pole through the forehead, and I never want to see that happen to anybody else. And you get somebody emotionally connected, you don't have to make the ask, they'll offer to help. And then you, oh, by the way, well, here's my packet. It's like, oh, envelope and money? Sure, you need money? And if your story is really good, and that just kind of comes out of your little packet of information, you know, people will get it. You don't necessarily have to directly ask them for money or do those evil sales tricks like stop mid-sentence and make them talk, because people love to fill in silence with conversation. What we can do is be a little bit more organized. And these are just a few of the little tools that I think that we can do to incrementally move forward. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Yes or no, is the donation letter that you got about 6 weeks ago up to snuff?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I did some editing, but it was good. And I continue to do editing as I meet people, and I gotta tailor it to what they know, what I know of them, and any type of relationship we've already built. But it's good, Eric. It's got a good general knowledge of what I need. And again, it can edit it, which makes it great. On the business card sense, you know, my presentation on Monday was to Lara Media Services, and they're the number one professional media for translations in Spanish to English of print, radio, and TV. You know, if you want something done, if you want to hit the Latino market, you go to Lara Media Services, and that will hook you up professionally. So here's a person that's her career, that's her profession. And I go up there and I had to, off the bat, so I was like, I'm not a professional salesman or marketer, so forgive me. She goes, it's okay, I understand where you're coming from. So I gave a good, decent presentation, and she enjoyed it. She called me that I should have a business card. Even though you'll give me all the contact through email, it's always good to leave a person with a business card. And then as I was walking out, and we had agreed on some things, and I asked her for the signature on the sector, she said, hey, and Jaime, I want to thank you for not asking for money. That's the biggest mistake everybody does, is they come in here, they give a presentation, and they ask for money. You didn't ask for money. Do you need money? And I said, well, it's a nonprofit, we could all use money, but I'm more important about me getting a sector signature from you than having money. You know, I'm not worried about that. And she goes, okay, well, thank you, and then I'll look at my budget and see what we can do. So again, it's like, wow, you know, I didn't ask for it, but she's offering it, so
Cool.
That's a tough one, is the money conversation is one that politicians, nonprofits, the business community, in our culture, North America, it's a difficult conversation to have. And it takes training, and that's why in the draft agenda that got sent around, to kind of break through that, we need to open up those conversations, and it's not a complete taboo. What you can use is metaphor and surrogate. In other words, as opposed to saying, I need your money, like, I'd love to have your support.
Yeah.
And in 15 seconds, there's a card in front of you. And so Jaime, I had a similar experience to you. The Aloha Library, we monetize book donations. And so I made a presentation, and the presentation resonated because I said, I want your support. And so what I got was boxes of books that we turn into money later on. And so how we message the support is really just coming together with a good story is one of these things that, I'm so excited to see parents and students here, because what it does is that your stories are the most authentic.
Mhm.
And when you deliver the authentic story, people will figure out what you're really saying, and they'll do exactly as you said, and they'll offer you money.
All right, so we can turn the back page and go to the poster contest. And Kim's not here, so Emily, can you give us an update?
Kind of.
Okay.
So, I don't actually know what's gonna happen with that, because if Kim's sick, like, I don't know if she's gonna be there tonight.
Okay,
And I have a jazz concert at the Venetian tonight, so I'm not gonna be there.
okay.
And
Were there any entries? I mean, as of Monday, there weren't none.
Really?
That's what she said.
Because there were some kids, like, I knew that there was kids around Century that were excited about doing it, but
Yeah,
I can check and see if there's any in the office when I get back, but
okay.
I've heard the same thing. If I can back Emily up, I've kind of been working this behind the scenes. I think we had a misfire with the poster contest.
Okay.
We could definitely do better. I'm disappointed that, we had money in the bank to spend on printing posters. To kind of bring the coalition up to speed, I think probably one of the most frustrating aspects is that there was a presumption that Hillsborough School District was going to work completely with us. And the way that the poster contest was written, it put Hillsborough School District on the hook to present posters up on the walls of the schools that they hadn't seen before, and they wanted it to go through a review process, which is really reasonable. So we got some pushback from Beth Grazer on this, which we smoothed over. But the poster contest, when it was designed in November, was supposed to track with a Drug-Free Communities event sponsored by CADCA in January. And it got pushed back because of the holidays, so we were not managing it the way that it should have been. Here's how I see it playing out, is we'll probably extend it a week or two, and if not, then we've honored the county contract. We can open up the floodgates and say it's been open, but did we get the participation? And I really don't want to go back to Betty and say, well, we did our part, but we got no entries.
So on the poster contest, there's a contact on there, is it Kim's or yours?
Here's what Kim was using. What we did is we took, my predecessor is Michelle Rodriguez, and she was paid staff for the Hay Coalition. She created a Hay Google account. So what Kim has done is logged in, and I know this has frustrated a couple of the coalition members because you can't unattach Michelle Rodriguez's name. So sometimes Kim will jump into the Google account, and then an email will go out from someone who's no longer involved in the coalition.
Yeah.
But so that's been the cornerstone of the communication is that email account. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and I've seen it come out from Michelle.
Yeah, we can't change that.
So I guess, Emily, you still go back to school, right?
yes.
If anybody, I mean, I have mass to make at 5:30. I can go to the late one at 9:30. It's Ash Wednesday for those of you who don't know. So I can make time in my day to be there, but if we're not gonna have any
If there are no
contestants-
posters.
Yeah, I can check the main office, but
Okay. Yeah.
I knew, like, some kids, like, they came to me and they were like, yeah, I'm super pumped. And I
Okay.
was like, awesome.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, no one turned it in, and I just feel sad.
So if you can check in and give either me or Eric a call, that way at least one of us can be there.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Yeah, that's another fun part. The
Yeah.
people that were like, oh, yeah, I'll judge for you, they all quit on me yesterday.
They'll quit. Okay, yeah, exactly. And so, you know,
All last minute.
I don't mind being there tonight, and I will think of something and take you. Hey, you know what? Thank you guys for participating. You know, but because we don't have any judges, we're just gonna have to postpone it to a later date. Or if
Yeah,
nobody shows up, at least I
don't
can say that nobody
mind
showed up.
going and helping to judge.
Yeah.
But if there's no posters, there's no
Exactly.
point. I mean, we could just say, you know, that it's been postponed.
Yeah, I feel bad because, like, I started to make a poster, and then I got too busy and never finished it.
Sure. Okay.
And I felt really bad. Still feel kind of bad.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, just
A
check
little
on
bit
that.
guilty, right?
And maybe we should check on Kim too, see if there's any entries.
I'll send her a text message right now and see what we can do to.
Yeah, I tried texting her this morning. She was responding for a while, and then she stopped, so I don't
Then maybe I'll just circle back later on.
But yeah, I think
She might
extending
respond
it
now.
would be a good idea,
Would be the
though.
best thing to do.
Because I talked to the art teachers, and they said that they would get their classes hyped, and so I can just go and do it.
Okay.
Because, like, I can just take a class off and be like, okay,
Yeah.
let's do this.
So can we say that at least for the post contest, we can extend it and judge later if there's any entries today?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
And if we do that, we want to extend it maybe 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks?
Yeah, and I know a lot of the band kids were excited, because there's like 170 of us.
Yeah.
But tonight we have a huge jazz concert, so
Okay.
no one was able to go.
All right.
And so that kind of bummed people out. But they originally told us it was on a different date, which is why everyone was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, it
and they
worked,
were
right?
like, oh,
Okay.
just kidding, it's next week.
So I guess we're on agreement that we want to extend it and postpone the judging if we have any entries to a later date. But now we got to make sure that it's a date that is going to be
Yeah.
Someone's gonna show up.
accommodating. Yeah, exactly. So we got to do 2 things here. And I guess number 1 is that we've done it. We've agreed that we're going to extend it, postpone the judgment to a later date, and then we'll get a date to be announced here in about a week or so. That work? And it's a judging date. We'll go ahead and continue getting entries, but a judging date will be maybe in March.
Okay.
All right?
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about what's going on in March.
Before spring break.
I
Okay?
can do that.
Yeah. And spring break is the 23rd to the 27th, is that right?
I think so. And it's just
I'm
2
pretty
days
sure
where
that's
I'm
the,
busy in March, and that's it. April is busy.
right?
I'll bet.
Yeah, 23rd to the 27th.
April is
Um,
Washington and Reno.
All right, so going on, bus benches. To start a little bit, Eric?
Bus benches, I think we have $2,700 in county money that we're obligated to spend. And that, right now is kind of the season that we're ramping, where we plan to start doing it. So I haven't done much work on it. It's just part of the work plan. I wanted to announce that I was gonna be doing it. However, if somebody's got the bandwidth, I wanna make sure that I'm not doing the work that the coalition should be doing. So I think what I'd like to do is ask for this, is that I'll refine the protocol into a to-do list. Like this is what we have to do to fulfill the grant, and then I'd like to message out to the board. If anybody has the bandwidth to take this over, great. And if the answer is no, then I'll do it on behalf of the board. So that's just kind of what I'm supposed to be doing as a coordinator, is coordinating the tasks to make sure they get done, but not necessarily doing all of them.
Okay. I guess I want to say that for $2,700, what much is a bus bench advertisement cost?
How many are there? Yeah.
I thought, okay, here's where Betty being absent is problematic. Apparently.
So you probably need to make a phone call to TriMet and find out about the bus benches in terms of cost, how much lead time you have to have, and what to do.
Betty
So-
made calls and kind of roughed this out several months ago when we put together the contract. And with her being out of town, I'm just at a loss. So when she's back in a week, it's probably going to move forward. But it's just one of these next items that's popping up on our to-do list for our coalition action plan to fulfill the current grant.
Okay.
I think she had got, for some reason, I thought it was dialed in with KUIK.
No.
And
Has nothing to do with KUIK.
I-
KUIK is the PSAs.
I
The
thought there
bus
was a-
benches are TriMet.
I thought there was some sort of media buy that was happening with, behind the scenes, but I could be wrong. Probably wrong.
Yeah, because that's what we're gonna need, just some prices, how many benches does $2,700 purchase? You know, and then of course the design, what are we gonna put on, just pay together, or we need money? We need board members? I mean, what's the
Well,
gist of
part of
having the
it,
budget?
I think we were thinking about whoever, you know, if we had a good poster, we could use that.
Oh, use that, oh.
Yes. So
Okay.
that would be, that's part of the incentive for having a winning poster, is you get your poster put up on
People
all
can
these
sit
bus
on it.
benches. Yeah.
Okay, because those are just some basic things that we need to know, is just how much, and then I guess the poster contest is become very vital now.
Yeah.
Why don't we draw a poster?
What was happening is we were coming to a close on some of the decision on the drug-free grant, excuse me. Betty and I just made the DFC discussions go to the top, and then she was bugging out for her vacation, so I didn't push on this because she had short-timer's disease. But it's on our coalition action plan. Should be linkable off the. For some reason, my internet access has gone cold on me, so I can't pull up the coalition action plan. But I think there's more details in the bus benches there.
Because at the very least, we can use
Not really.
this
Okay.
bus benches fund to promote a safe prom night. They don't have it till May, so we can, that's still an option to do. I really like the posters that we used to give out. I think they were effective somewhat. And it gets us in the door to some businesses.
Kim just messaged back, we have no poster
Okay.
entries via email. So I'm gonna strongly suggest we have no entries, and that it's safe to kick that one down the road a little bit.
Okay. So Emily, we're gonna put this out on you and see what you feel. Can we do it on March 18th? Or the week of March 16th? Which is the week prior to spring break?
Let me check.
I'm gone that week.
You gone that week?
Maybe not.
Where you headed to?
You don't need me.
Okay, maybe we can.
When's the next coalition meeting?
Oh.
Probably
good
the
point.
18th.
The next coalition meeting is going to be on the 18th of March.
Could
You
that be-
available to
could that-
judge?
Could that be the judge pool right
Sure,
there?
Yeah.
there you go.
Then you got it.
Okay, we got our first
I'm
judge.
just busy the 17th, so.
Think March 18th might work?
Yeah.
So deadline extended to the 17th.
We'll extend the deadline to the 17th. Give the judges one day.
Well, the
Well, they're gonna do
judges
it at the
can do
meeting.
it at the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, we can do it at the
So
meeting.
like you, yeah, it's a good point. Have the deadline
Okay.
be the day before, so the
Mhm.
posters are all in for the meeting.
Yeah,
And you got some pool of judges
exactly. yeah.
right there.
Okay, and who knows? Maybe we can see if we can get the next board meeting at Citrus High School. Is it Dave that was gonna help us get a space
David
there?
Schultes, yeah, he was the one who helped me get into this, but he doesn't work at Century anymore.
Anymore? No, didn't leave a name or contact?
Well, he can't do it. He's not there.
He's not there, we can't do it?
No. No, I mean, you could get somebody else. You could get
Yeah, I
the
understand
vice
that.
principal or
Exactly, yeah.
something.
And there's the new counselor. She's really nice. Her name is Emily Kerr. I talked to her about another project we were involved in, and she seemed to be super excited about it. And so I talked to her about this and be like, hey, do you think we can use the conference room? I'm sure if I talk to her and the counseling center receptionist, Brenda Vanderzanden, they'd be okay with it. So I do not know our vice principal's name. She's really nice, but I have no idea what her name is.
I'll give the principal
She's
a
new
call.
this year.
I'll give Ted a call, Ted Zier.
Yeah, Mr. Zer's cool.
I'll give him a call and see if we can get a conference room for Central High School. Will that work for everybody? March 18th? So, Maureen?
Sure.
You drive, I'll be carpool.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and primarily that'll also be a judging day for us to judge. Okay.
Thousands of posters.
So we need to repost her
Hopefully.
up and send it up, and we'll get that going. Anything else? We're good? Eric, want to add anything?
I think we're good there.
So the 12 sector recruitment and the grant itself, the DFC, the Drug-Free Community Grant. Betty had set a dead date of, what was last Friday, March 12th, 13th.
February
13th?
13th.
February 13th, excuse
Friday
me.
13th.
She has set a dead date of February 13th because she was going to be off this week on vacation. But we had some issues with the 12 sectors. I've got a hold of 3, and I still need 2 signatures on 2 of them, but I don't know how many sectors we actually have obtained outside of Emily's. Thank you. Anybody have anything to add to that? Eric? Katie?
What's the deadline for the grant after?
The grant is March 17th.
Oh, coming up.
So I still thought I understand her giving us the date of February 13th, but I still figured when she got back, we still have maybe 2 weeks to just package everything together. And again, that's why I still, Betty's wants to, the way she's seeing it, is she wants to back out. We get a good shot and just, work on next year. But I think so. If we get the 12 sectors, let's throw it in. And and I'm coming from the fact that, I'm a job counselor, is what I do for a living. And I always tell my clients, whether they're applying for a job or a scholarship or training, I always tell them and I preach to them, don't you be the decision maker. You just do your best job in applying, and it's somebody else's job to make the decisions. And that's how I feel about this grant. It's not going to be perfect, but I think we did some good work for it, and we should turn it in and see what kind of score we get.
Yeah, I mean, we need to know what sectors are missing so that we could strategize on who else could be asked. I mean, she left on vacation, but she didn't tell us, these others.
What do we have and what we don't have?
Right, and so how can we take action if we don't know that?
Can you bring that up? Her last
Yeah.
attachment?
On the email, no. I had a lot of conversations in the week prior to Betty's departure, and that it boiled down to this, is that if we were 1 or 2 sectors short,
Mhm.
I think she would have entertained a conversation to extend the deadline to when she got back. But where we were at, where Jaime and I were circling around, is that we only had 1 or 2 or 3 confirmed sectors that we actually had. And
We had a whole list at one of our meetings where we went through the sectors and we named off people we were going to contact for those sectors, and people were going to make those contacts. And I think that, we should be able to follow up on that. I mean, I don't know, your stuff's not written down, so it's hard to deal with that, but,
I'm looking
but
for
that
it
was,
now.
yeah, do you have it, Jaime?
I remember talking to Boys and Girls Club, and they said that they were
What?
I talked to Boys and Girls Club, and they said that they were gonna have somebody represent them here too.
Well, we just need somebody to sign. The problem is with Boys and Girls Club is that they have an interim director, I think now, but their interim director could sign off for them. So, because it's just for the grant. And so it's just that they're probably really stretched thin right now because they don't have an appointment of a director, because we're,
Right. And I think it's really important to understand when we look at our sector representatives that those people, they don't have to come
Correct.
to
They don't.
the board meetings, every board meeting. It's
Right.
about, hey, you know, we're looking for people that, there's times where we may need to put our hand out.
Yeah, and Boys
support.
and Girls Club, the form could even be sent to the Portland area director, Erin Hubert, and she'd probably sign off on it. So it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that somebody's here right now. We just need to go through those sectors, the 12 of them, say which ones we have and which ones we don't have and who we could get for each of those sectors. Because a lot of work has already been gone
Mhm.
into this grant proposal, and it'd be stupid not to follow through just because we haven't followed through on getting those signatures.
Yeah. And I had given Betty some of the ones I was gonna do, and again, I got the 3 of them that I was committed to. 2 of them still needed to get signatures, but they're committed to just me showing up and having them signed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can, slides.
I've got on the one that was assigned to me, and that was, I was chasing after some folks to replace Jim Cross, or Jim from Holy Cross, for faith-based.
Oh, the faith. uh-huh.
And I made repeated phone calls, and they fell on deaf ears. Where, for me, I was working as, my understanding is Jaime was the nexus, the point of contact for coordinating the 12 sectors. Where it got a little squishy is that Betty was helping by customizing each sector form, so it was centralized through her desk. And her take, as this was coming to a close, was that the 12 sectors was taking the pulse of the coalition. If we couldn't get all 12 sectors by this due date, then the coalition was likely not healthy enough in order to move forward. And that because she was not only taking on the helping us coordinate the sector representation, the next step when she comes back from vacation is to put together the whole DFC grant application, which is an epic level of work. So I think
Well, she's already got drafts. I mean, I've worked with her on some of the draft sections that are already written. And I did editing and stuff and did that last Friday for her. So, I mean, she didn't send it out till Thursday, but, yeah, so I was doing it on Friday morning, but she, anyway, so you can't find the 12 sectors on your thing?
no, my internet connection died on me, and so
Oh.
I can't pull that up. I can't log in. I think it wants a new unexpired credit card, and I can't do that without internet access. Yeah.
Do you need me to hotspot it? I can hotspot it.
Yeah, if you want to generate a hotspot, that would be great.
So having this 12 sectors signed off on is a part of the grant application, or is it just?
Right, yeah,
okay.
you have to have.
So you have to
those.
have it.
You have
Okay.
to have, that's a requirement.
It's not just something that makes it look better?
No,
Okay.
it's what we have to have. So, because if we don't have the
Left,
12
sorry, left,
sectors
sorry. I was, am I right?
represented, then
You know, Bobby, I don't want
You're
to put you on
not
the spot, but what I heard chatter at the 12 Together coalition meeting where we did a Kaizen assessment yesterday, is that I heard chatter that there are DFC grants that go in where not all 12 sectors are represented and they still get funded.
It is a 100% requirement that you have to have
For this
all,
one.
that you have to have all 12 sectors signed on. That does not mean that every coalition has all 12 of those sectors active in the work that they're doing.
Right.
It's that they just need to have those representatives at the table. And if I can interject a little bit with kind of just some of the conversations I've heard today, and I truly believe that as I've listened to some of the way of the focus and looking at some of these priorities, I think of the work of coalitions as a community level, right? We're trying to change usage rates at the community level. That's great, right? So you got 93,000 people in Hillsborough, and so how are we? Is the work we're doing here, are we effective or are we just busy, right? And so without having the correct infrastructure, the correct focus, and working at working on community level problems, then we may just be busy and not effective. So I think that the Drug-Free Communities grant gives you a very nice infrastructure that helps you work towards that. So I was just a little bit worried listening to some of the other priorities that I don't know if that's really working or giving you the infrastructure to be able to attack problems at the community level. So if that made any sense.
No, I don't think so. Well, obviously, we need to have more representation here and working on things. But we do need the list. But because I think we could get that. And I don't think that's insurmountable. And then it makes us more capable. I mean, if we have the DFC grant, then we're more able to work on some of the community issues.
Yeah, that's
See, this is
exactly
part
what I'm
of the
saying.
problem.
Right.
You know, because we don't have, full-time coordination. and
Yeah,
stuff.
right. And
So,
I definitely understand that.
yeah, so,
And I mean, even just the people who are here at this table take care of a good amount of, almost half of that sector representation as it is when you have.
Right.
Yeah, you have parent, you have youth, you have law enforcement, I mean, we have
right,
people.
and basically, I mean, like, she didn't list me as public health, she just said as a community member. Well, I could definitely be listed as part of health.
Mhm.
So, there's more than one way to
Right.
skin a cat. And so I think we should be looking at that. I mean, I don't know, the list I saw, I don't think had Anastasia on it, and, it's got a parent.
That's the one you're talking about, right?
No. What is, wait a minute, oh, those are the interviewers. That's the interviews for conducting, it's not the 12 sectors. So,
Okay. Let me see if I can.
that's the interviews that were conducted for the grant proposal.
Because those are those one forms that we asked what their impressions were,
Yeah, but that's different.
which was different than this sector, exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
but you could ask the same person to
Hey,
sign
by
off.
the way, you want to
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Yeah, I
You don't have
talked
to
to you
do
about
nothing to
this.
sign the form.
Yeah, why not? I mean, because we certainly interviewed a heck of a lot more people.
And those people are providing support to your coalition.
That's
just
right.
just by even in that interview, that they're
Yeah.
providing that support, and that means that they may be open the next time when we have an ask or a need for them to, to fill in a gap.
Well, and I think if they were asked, they would probably say, yeah, I can sign off on it, but probably that form was never presented to them. Right, I mean, when we were doing interviews, we weren't asking about signing a form.
My apologies, I thought maybe I had the folder for the sectors in my pickup.
But not, huh?
I don't have it, I think I left that at home. It's
Okay.
another folder like this that I had the sectors. There were 12 sectors. I had, Centro Cultural was gonna sign off on the youth serving community organization. I had Lala Media signed up for the media part. I had Dahlia's New Generation Daycare signed up for the business one.
Which one?
Those are the three I had. I also tried to take on a faith-based one, and I struck out, both at my own church and with the Knights of Columbus. They weren't afraid to ask some things of us. And I said, well, huh?
Can it be any church?
It can be any church.
Any church.
Because I have one of my best friend's husband's a pastor here in Hillsborough. Might be able
And
to.
it's a lot of times, again, when I was
There
talking
you
with
go.
both Centro Cultural and Laura Media, and my apologies that a lot of my networking is geared to Latinos because that's where I'm at, mostly.
That's okay. I don't think that's, you need to apologize for that. I think that's a strength. Because a lot of the community, a large segment of the community is Latino.
And you're right, and the numbers show that in the Hillsborough schools, 40% are Latinos. So
That's
it's like,
right.
It's gonna be more too.
And
Yeah.
there will be more, yeah.
So it's a simple form, and as I was checking it off again on Monday with Laura Media, and also with Jose a couple weeks ago, there are things that we can do anyway that we would want to do anyway, and partnering at events. I gave them the opportunity that if they wanted to phone in for a meeting, they can. I gave them the opportunity that like with the Hillsborough Hops, I go, look, I know during the season I'm not going to get anybody at a meeting. Understandable, you know what? But during the winter time, you guys can come in and check in, and so things like that. I mean, it's a standard form, but it's very flexible on what they want.
Well, it sounds
Okay.
like we should have most of them.
Right,
So what are we
and
missing?
that's what I'm thinking, is what are we missing? So we've got, I mean, already I've got 3. Anastasia, if you do on the 4th on the faith-based thing, if you can, I sent an email to the Interfaith Action Network, and they were gonna announce at their meeting, but obviously they didn't get anybody, otherwise I would've heard back.
I'll ask Terrence, because I know he's a pastor and he's pretty gung-ho to do everything and anything.
And at this
so
point, all he needs to do is sign a form.
He'd do that, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And if
that,
you
that's
want, I'm gonna
cool.
get his
And-
wife to
And if I represent health, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5. I mean, what else? Who else was getting
What is it,
signatures?
youth?
And then
Right, so-
probably law enforcement.
Law enforcement?
We've got law
I signed a
enforcement.
form.
Right, so,
locker.
Yeah.
right here, so I see youth, business, you said that you had.
Yeah, youth.
Youth serving organization, you said that you had? right?
Yeah, that was.
Yes.
Yep, okay. Media, you said you had one.
I have that one.
Law enforcement's at the table, health at the table, parent at the table, faith you could work on. Government official,
Government official.
You can be a I'll be law enforcement, you be a
Yeah.
government official.
okay.
Roswell, I'll go and have
Government.
Pat sign it.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You'll
Yeah.
sign-
Will you
Just
sign
sign
this?
anything, just.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, really?
Sure.
And what do
He's
you have?
elected.
Community serving organization,
Yeah.
I think is one of them.
But also, I'm sure
School.
you could probably
I know
get
that we
Susan
could get
McLean
Manuel
to
Ramos to
sign
sign.
off, or Chuck would.
He's
Oh.
with,
Mhm.
by the folklorico.
Sure.
He's a youth and community.
That's right, he will.
Because he does adult through third grade through adult. So that, I could get him to sign.
So, yeah, even government, I could probably get my husband to sign.
He's a government official.
Yeah, he would work too.
Yeah. So
So
that's
what's
You
missing?
guys are, you know,
one, or
No, yeah.
We do want to make a meeting for next week.
7. So we just need to figure out what's missing.
2 seconds, I'll get that.
Yeah. We're trying to get the
Yeah,
12,
I'm
which of
looking
the
at
12
that
are we
now.
not thinking of?
Okay, well, I've got the list, who is assigned to what. So I've got
Good.
youth, parent, business, media, school, youth serving organization, law enforcement, religious fraternal organization, civic volunteer groups,
So community, that's what that community.
healthcare professional, state, local, or tribal government agency.
State.
And other organizations involved in reducing substance abuse.
Can we have another coalition sign it?
Yeah, I mean,
Could we get,
All together?
yeah, have them
Sure.
sign it, they're another
yeah.
organization, right?
Genway?
So then it's just really the civic group, it sounds like, is
The
what's.
civic, we
I
have
would almost-
parent, we need school. Who could we get for the school?
How about the principal of,
Pointer? Yeah,
His
you-
sister
can
helped
you
start
ask?
at the Hay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Anastasia, and you're the parent, Anastasia.
How about
And
you-
we need somebody from health, though, it sounds like. So it's like a, who could we, who knows anybody at Tualatin or at a
Well, you-
doctor's office? I mean, I can be in
Oh,
other.
for health?
Yeah, health.
I thought you were going to do health.
Well, I'm not providing health care. I think that's what they're talking
Who-
about.
We
Who's
have
who's the
a-
guy that used to be on the board that used to give us facilities at Tualatin all the time?
Who's this?
What were you gonna say?
We have a school-based health center.
There you go.
So
Oh,
I can get Ivan Wong, he's the physician's assistant there. I can get him
Cool.
to sign it.
Okay.
Boom, that just happened.
that's cool.
And
That's
if we have a
cool.
meeting next week, I can bring my paper. I left it in my locker. But
Okay.
it's signed. And I can
All
get
right.
Ivan.
You- and
you
at
have
the same
someone
time.
for state?
I'm positive we can
in
get
mind, you said?
Emmanuel Ramos or
My husband's a
Genway.
state senator.
Let me get some emails first.
So,
Cheryl.
Well,
I'm sure I
that
could
could
ask.
work.
Who's going to need an email attachment of this right here?
Why don't you just send it to everybody?
Yep.
That way
Send
we
it
all
to
have
everybody. I mean, if we had 13, would that be bad?
A Darlene?
Yeah. We need to get the other species sector,
Yeah.
I'm gonna paw print on that one.
Emily?
What about a civic organization? What do we,
Oh,
So that's the one
For
that
the
got
site.
stuck on me, because I had hoped that either the
So
American
would that be
Legion.
like somebody like a Rotary or anything?
Exactly. I
Right.
was working with the American Legion and the Knights of Columbus, and I struck out on both of them.
There's gotta be somebody on there.
I might be able to get somebody to sign off.
So that's a lot of.
From-
Do they just have to be a member, or do they have to be a rep?
No,
Or civic?
They could be a member
oh, they gotta be a member, they gotta be an executive officer.
of the organization?
Or they, well, they gotta get the permission of the,
Oh, to represent them?
yeah. Cause that's when I presented both to the Knights and the, American Legion, they said they don't mind me being a signer, but they wanted somebody from the board, and the board couldn't sign
To
it.
okay it.
The council agreed on it. And that was a holdup on that.
Hmm.
Can it be another nonprofit?
Sure, just
No,
a-
well, a civic
Civic,
organization.
So Elks are civic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So it
you're
could
on
be
the
an
email
elk.
list, Sergeant Dick?
Let me ask. I might-
your email.
I
It
might
says,
be
it says
able to-
civic and volunteer groups, so.
So it has to be an officer of the
Volunteer
Elks?
Can you get someone
Yeah,
from
I might
Coffee
be
to
able
sign
to.
on?
On who?
From Coffee?
Well, Kofi is not really, we're not a nonprofit by ourselves. We're under the umbrella of Impact Northwest.
Oh, okay.
If somebody
Uh,
multiple categories, like if another coalition is also a civic organization
Well,
and
see,
working
I'm the
on.
president of another nonprofit, and I don't know why that would qualify, 'cause you could take me off of law enforcement and put me on there.
Well, there's. I could
But
be law
Maureen could be
enforcement.
law enforcement.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could be, what's your nonprofit?
It's the Crime Prevention Association of Oregon, I'm the president of that, I don't know if that would
Perfect.
qualify, okay.
Of
There you
course.
go. Would that work? Would that work?
Okay, there's a
Alright.
civic
There
organization.
you go.
There you go, you have it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
So isn't that about everything?
Say again?
yeah, I mean, it's just we need to follow through and get those
Yeah, the form
signatures.
signed.
Get the form signed. So we need to have the form sent out.
I'm willing to speak for the sheriff's office.
Okay. Are we dual certified?
I know Genway for sure would sign that youth involvement thing, if Manuel won't.
But youth involvement, do we have Central Cultural they've already signed?
They just need to go, I just need to take it out there and have it signed by.
And by Jose? Okay, cool. So we already have that. And the media, they already signed? And what about the business? They already signed too?
Say who?
Did the business already sign?
Yeah, I know. I just need to stop by and have them sign in.
They said they would, but you just need to get the
Oh,
form
okay,
signed.
cool.
For the movie?
You
All
said
right.
they would, but you just
Yeah,
need to
they
get the
would.
form signed, yeah.
I already, yeah.
Okay.
It's just a matter of me stopping by their office and having them signed up on it.
Cool.
Do you need something taken out to Central Football? Because I have to go out there this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think I have it with me. It's in that folder. It's in at
Oh.
home.
So when is Betty back?
I missed the appointment last week with
Next
Jose.
Monday.
So we can have all these forms in her mail
I have to
then.
go back, I have to go out there today anyway, so.
So actually, if we get things signed, if people have capability of scanning it and
Mhm.
submitting it, then it could be sent on to Betty right away.
So this is what happened with.
Scan it as a PDF.
Yeah, it'll work. This was scanned over by, Laura Media Services. And then once it came over, I printed it and I signed it up on me.
Yeah.
But we do need, Betty's gonna want them both in a paper form signature, and then it's scanned, also,
Okay. But
for e-file.
But I think if she got back and found all of these in her email inbox already in
Ready to go.
PDF formed, that would help a lot.
Mhm.
And then the rest can be, I mean, I don't know why she wants it signed original. PDF is fine.
And yeah, you said, not to blame anything on Betty, because I think she's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for
For sure went to Mexico and didn't take the rest of us. That's not so great.
Yeah. Well, we got this going on, and we'll, I do want to set a schedule to meet next week with whatever we got. I've got some emails here, and I don't have yours, sorry.
Yeah, it's, just do my personal, it's, B Vickery,
B Vickery,
yep, 33,
33.
yep, at Gmail.
@gmail. And everybody else I have. I will get these out tonight when I get home. And you'll be able to edit them? So you'll get this, it'll probably be 2 pages. And you just, edit the blocks here, then you gotta put in a name here of who's the actual person's gonna be signing off.
Heine, what you could do is make a copy of that, white out what's in there already, and then scan it and send it out.
And then scan and send it out?
Yeah,
Okay.
because then people can write their stuff in without having the other information in there
Oh.
already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have it. So Darlene, are you gonna do law enforcement?
I'm gonna do, the civic, and I'm gonna hit the sheriff, once I get the form.
Maureen's doing law enforcement.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the civic, yeah. Do you still need a,
But if Pat signs it for the sheriff's
but
office.
he's a state official.
government.
He's a government official.
Oh, but
Oh,
we
so
could also
you
get-
don't want to have Chuck? That's
get the
fine.
Oh, yeah, well,
senator.
you're gonna do unchecked, yeah. I just
No,
wanna make sure.
go ahead and do
You get the
Pat.
man? Okay.
Yeah, do Pat.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
The sheriff signs it, probably would look better.
Sheriff, would you sign this? Don't even love to sign it.
He will.
Won't cost you any
Trust
money,
me,
I
Sheriff.
promise.
Trust me, Sheriff.
Has nothing to do with your mortgage.
No.
Cover that up.
Or some kind of scam.
You guys all know who you're gonna go after, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
We all
okay,
know.
so I'm not going after anybody except myself then, sounds like. Anastasia's got a whole list.
I get it.
You've got the faith, and you've got your own, and also the school.
Yeah, I can do that. I spent enough time at the school in one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know that list, it had your name 3 times.
I don't even know the principal's name. I probably should, but I know her sister helped start me, so I know she's gonna call for it. I don't know her name. She's the one that looks like the other one.
Well, if we can get most of these, most of these in Betty's inbox, and we're only short a few, I'm sure she'll give us a few more weeks.
Well, we should be able to
Sure,
get
give them
all
to
of
them
them
On Monday.
on Monday.
Yeah, I
Should
know.
be we should aim for Monday.
Okay, that's a done deal. We'll have it all by Monday. I'll get this all scanned out to you guys tonight. Don't expect it there before 10 o'clock. Next on the agenda is Twitter.
Twitter.
I need the login information again because it just kept saying error and it wouldn't let me in. So,
Then I will have that resent to you here in just moments.
and I looked for the email, but there were so many I couldn't find it. And I was like, well,
that'll work.
because I was searching through and I was like, there's so many different emails.
Yeah, I know, I've got 67,400 emails in my inbox. Yeah, information management for me is another story.
That's brilliant stuff. Apparently.
Oh, people won't stop for you in front of the sheriff's department. The police will, the sheriff's deputies will.
If you wanted a copy of a treasurer's
You
report
gotta
from
send
another
it.
coalition, that's what they use right there. They get for him for as a
Here we
resource.
go. Password is West5922, all lowercase.
It's 5922.
Uh-huh. WEST5922.
Okay.
The email address, the account is associated
coming
with
up.
is k@ericsquires.com.
Yeah, he's so excited.
Good.
So who would be the fiscal agent? Just curiosity.
Where at?
Oh, youth contact.
Youth contact?
Currently.
Yeah. Eric, here's your a sample treasurer's report.
When we had the
from
other,
Bobby.
when we had the previous DFC grant, it was the school district was the fiscal agent.
Yeah, and actually, that's what is on the new DFC grant, that it will be the school district.
It will be the school district.
Right.
Because it's a much bigger chunk of change, so.
Yeah.
Try and add it right now.
Did you tell them what that was?
Yeah.
Other action items?
Yeah, I'm talking about the tweeter.
Here and talk at this one.
I guess I've gotten Emily the account login email and password.
I'm logging in now.
Perfect.
Okay.
Did we set I'm sorry, did we set another meeting?
We are gonna set another meeting next week.
Are
When
we,
Betty's here,
next Wednesday?
next Wednesday. At the same time, noon hour? Or a little later?
That's fine with
I
me.
think it's okay with that.
I would rather have it in the later afternoon. This is my third Wednesday in a row where I've been away from the office, so we can do it like at 4 o'clock.
I can't,
Yeah.
Can't do
Matt,
it.
I can't
I'll
do
be
it
at
that
another
late.
meeting, but Matt can.
Okay,
I can
all right, appreciate you being here.
But I can't be there that
All
late.
right.
You can't be here,
Log in.
what time? Next
Well,
Wednesday at 4 o'clock?
Noon would be okay, but
We're having an amazing meeting. Tweet that.
Got this.
I guess I could be there.
I can do this.
I have to be downtown by 5:30. So,
At 5:30?
yeah, so it's hard to, I'd have to leave here at 4 in order to be down there. I mean,
And
basically
then we
by
don't even know Betty's
4:30.
schedule, but I'm assuming she'll be okay with 3:30?
I can make that personally. I guess I'm just getting mixed messages. The message I got from Betty is if we didn't have, all 12 by last Friday, the door's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly if they're all there and
Exactly.
she'll
But I think
reconsider.
As
I
the board
don't,
president and with
I
the
don't see
consensus of the
her.
board here,
No.
we can open that door.
I think we can. I think the respectful thing to do is to understand that, yes, there's been a lot of work done, but Betty didn't want to commit to doing the rest of the work without, hey, coming to the
Well,
table.
we're coming to the table. We have, all 12 sectors are gonna be
Got it.
there on Monday. So, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then speaking with Betty last week before she left, she says, Jaime, when I come back, she has about 2 weeks of which she may dedicate a few days to this. Okay? So that's what my hope is, that she at least gave me an opening. But she did stress out that if I don't have enough sectors, I can't continue. So with that respect, I'm hoping that we have enough sectors that should be able to engage and continue with, because it is a lot of work and
So
we're
if
pretty much ready
if
for
anybody
this.
can't get a signature from the sector they've agreed to, they should be emailing Jaime
Yeah, right away.
right immediately,
Mhm.
okay? So that's really bottom line.
Yeah.
And in fact, it would be good, Jaime, if you have a list of who's doing what sector, if you send out a reminder, even if it's at midnight tonight, saying, this is what, these are the 12 sectors, and these are the people who have agreed to sign or to get a signature for each one of them. Have it scanned and sent to Betty by Monday.
Gotcha.
I can even try and get Ivan's today because he works in the health center Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So, and I give his kids music lessons.
Sure.
So but do you have a blank form? Or you can white out on your form or change on your form?
I think I still have the one that Betty sent me, so I can just edit it and
Change
then
it.
print it out.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And that'll be for the health one, right?
hmm
Gotcha.
And then I have mine all filled out, so I
The
can just
youth.
bring it next week.
Gotcha.
Can you scan yours and
Mhm.
email it in? Yeah.
Did you say that you had the draft of the grant application already? Of what
Parts
the-
of it. She sent out parts of it last Thursday that she had already worked on, and like all of the data part was pretty much done.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So that's,
Big part.
It's a big part. She and I had worked on that, so.
Would
that's
you be able to
big.
send that to me as well, and I can? Because I've had a lot of.
If you give me your email, I can send it to you.
Now, I think I got the same thing. Maybe I can just take care of that right now.
Oh, yeah, you could just forward it to her.
Okay. Yeah, please.
But you could forward my email also, because I sent her an email with my edits
Oh,
on it
okay.
already.
Perfect.
So there's no point in reinventing the wheel.
Yeah.
So is there a meeting being set for next
gonna do,
Wednesday?
Wednesday at, I'm afraid to say, 3:30?
Well, if this is around Betty's schedule, maybe we should wait until she's back
To confirm
and
it?
see when she can do it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, we'll have a meeting and she still won't be here.
Yeah, okay. So just be ready to drop some things, I guess, on
Bob, you're
Okay.
done. You got it.
for next week. Thanks, Eric, for sending it out.
So did you send him my email also?
It was forwarded, so
Okay.
you should be able to control the email out of
Okay.
the headers.
Perfect.
So my mobile only goes back 30 days worth of emails.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's like 32 or 33 days out that she sent out that sector update.
Oh, the sector thing?
Yeah, that's why it's not, I can't pick it up.
Well, Jaime, both you and Katie got a list of the sectors as they were emailed to me, and I just sent that about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh,
You got a
okay.
list of the sectors.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, but I think Betty had sent me a breakdown of who's responsible, but
Yeah, I don't think I got that email.
Yeah.
I've been
Sounds
looking.
like that just changed anyway.
yeah, but it just changed, exactly.
So,
The thing is that, let's
Well,
see what
whatever.
we can do by next week. So, I hate doing this. Betty's just a remarkable person. I sent out 2 texts and 2 emails on Monday, and she responded. And she said, you know, it's an important week. It's unfortunate that she's out. She said, I'm willing to respond to any emails or texts regarding Hay while she's on vacation. So I'm going to respect that, and I did 2 on Monday. And I'll do 1 more, say, hey, what's your schedule for next week?
Yeah.
yeah, and tell her we're.
Well, just say you're
lining
considering
these
having a
sectors up.
meeting on Wednesday at whatever time.
At noon or either 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and see if that's okay,
And if you're going to be here for the first half hour, make sure you get first dibs.
whatever.
All right. Review board book.
That was an action item that I wanted to make sure we discussed briefly. Board compliance. Actually, this is Emily's action item, and we're going to keep this one open, and it leads into the next one. Part of our job for the DFC grant is to make sure the board is compliant, and the priority that we've had is just making sure we have what I call BICs, which is butts and shares. And as opposed to working a normal board procedure, which is your term expires in 2017 at the May 5th meeting, and your term expires in 2015, and who's doing what job. Right now, we're doing just Band-Aid surgery, keeping butts and shares, trying to make sure we've got people at the table. Compliance is spelled out by our board bylaws. So what I wanted to do was get Emily indoctrinated into the organization by sending her home with the board book that's got the bylaws and the minutes and the history of the organization so we can bring her up to speed. There's historical data I'm clueless on, which is wonderful why Maureen is back at the table here. Because she can, oh yeah, that's when this person was, you know, well, I already heard that in this meeting. Now I can hear you're flipping through pages and your brain's like, when was that person that was just mentioned involved in the organization? What we have to do, I can synthesize that babble into focus, is that we need to provide Betty with an update on how our organization is compliant with, say, for example, reporting. Is our treasurer doing reports? Do we have a rotation of term limits that we're being cognizant of? That's a great example of compliance that we're not talking about at our board meetings. How long is your term? What is your job?
Do you guys have bylaws?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time they were reviewed?
Probably
Probably
longer than
a
18
year
months ago.
Yeah, probably a year or so ago.
I'm going to say 26, 28.
So this is
Something good to-
one of the things Betty asked me to get done, and in the craziness, you know, basically getting representatives from 12 sectors is, you know, right now apex, top priority. But this is, it's kind of like the bench signs. It's coming up, it's on our to-do list, and my job as the coordinator is to try to stuff this stuff in, stoke the fire, you know, keep it burning level, and realize this is another task we've got to get done. So a couple of meltdowns we've got is I've got electronic bylaws, but Emily's got one of the few board books that's complete that I was gifted from my predecessor. So maybe that's something you can put on your to-do list to bring to this next meeting we're going to have in a week. And what we'll do is map out probably in a grid format term expiration. We really have just been inviting people to be at the table, but what Betty is looking for is the mechanics of the bylaws of the board. Are we compliant? There's little things about compliance, like are we filing our CT-12 forms with the state or the feds? And, you know, tax compliance is one component of it. Board and bylaws is another component. Banking and reporting is another component. We're nibbling at bits and pieces of these, but what we, let me close by stating Betty just needs a report from us in some format, and I don't know exactly what it is that we're compliant, but these are bits and pieces of that compliant aspect.
Right, so what it sounds to me like is that based on your bylaws, do you have the right people to fill the positions that, you know, based on what your bylaws states? So your bylaws states that you have a chair, a vice chair, what, you know, whatever those items
And board
are,
members.
and yeah, who your members are. What is the decision-making processes?
Right.
Is that based off of a quorum? How many does it take? How many board members does it take for a quorum? How do those decision-making processes happen? That is
That's all in those
that's one of
bylaws.
those. Yeah,
It's in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's
And-
just we haven't looked at them for a long time.
and then my question is, how are decisions, because, yeah, those bylaws are there, but then has this coalition actually made decisions and approved decisions based upon how the bylaws are set in place? And do we have history of that? So that's
used
some of
to.
those, yeah, that's gonna be part of that conversation, and part of that's written into the narrative of the grant application, so.
That's why we need minutes.
And back when we were trying to be in compliance with the grant, we did all that.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have to be in compliance with the grant anymore.
Because I remember when I joined in March of 2013, I got a copy of the board policies and stuff.
Okay, what I've got is last date of modification of the bylaws is twofold. I've got December 6, 2011 for a PDF, and then I've got October 27, 2009. And it looks like,
So the 2011 is probably
yeah.
most recent.
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send those out to the Hay list right now, just because that's the premise we agree to be here applies. So I'm going to ask you just kind of scan it and have a quick look, see, and just make sure that we're all on the same page.
I'd suggest reviewing it at next week's meeting. I really would. Just doing a quick, hey, who's in what chairs and how does that look, and just making sure that there's not a review that needs to be made. And if it does, that'd be a great opportunity to make that review in preparation. Because
Well, and if it's sent out ahead of time, then people can read it.
yeah, definitely.
I'll attach it to the meeting announcement. And so, Jaime, do you want to work with me offline on generating an agenda for the meeting next week?
I only want to talk about two things next week, which will be the board thing and then the sectors.
Okay.
That's it. I don't want it to be a 2 or 3 hour thing, just a quick, this is what we got and this is what we need.
Okay.
Yeah, because you need to work.
Just two agenda items.
And would you briefly remind me when that meeting is on the 25th?
We don't know yet. I gotta send a text out to Betty.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That'll just be on hold. I'll respond when I get that.
And I hope I catch her between ordering a drink or dinner.
Yeah. Happy
Good for
hour.
her.
And it is good for
Pretty
her.
where she is probably, she's probably having a drink.
Exactly. And that's what pretty much what she's gonna say. She's just gonna hit the beach and have drinks and, just wind down. I don't blame her a bit.
Non-alcoholic drinks.
Well,
She's an adult.
Kind of like extended Vegas.
Yeah, that's right.
It stays there, happens there, stays there. It's a whole country, not a city though. Otherwise, I think we're done. Thank you guys so much. We've got a lot of work over the next couple of days, but this grant is very important. I
Yes.
think we make some inroads, and whether or not we get awarded the grant, we won't know till August. So, but we got to get the work done here in the next couple of days, and also hopeful that Betty is hopeful to take the information and go forward with it just a little bit more. I know we've asked a lot of her. People asking a lot of each other too. Okay, that's it. I'll get the poster contest to get extended. And there is a marijuana forum next week that I will attend. It's at the Embassy Suite.
I'll be there too.
You'll be there too? Okay.
Cool.
I'm willing to speak if I get the chance. I think it's gonna be packed.
I think so.
I don't know why they're limiting the town halls of discussion.
They didn't do one in Portland, which means that the ones in Clackamas and the ones in Washington County are gonna be crazy bad.
Yeah, exactly. But you only get like basically one opportunity.
So are they going over
Free
how
samples?
they're gonna implement this whole?
This is how they're, yeah, this is how they're making those decisions.
Yeah.
of how
Tell
they're
you
gonna-
what, I'm a
I
good
never understood why they allowed
Washingtonian
him.
by birth, okay? They can have all the dispensaries on that side of the river. I'm just saying, they already do, it's already there, we're already
I
good.
have one in my neighborhood.
Across the bridge.
Exactly, it's not that far.
The only thing I do know is that
Put a
there's
toll on it.
currently about 22 different proposed legislation to,
Yep.
to go through the House and Senate.
Yeah, and that's aside from what OLCC. is
Yeah,
doing.
exactly, that's aside
I
from
just
the,
wanna know if they
not to make this job now.
put this law very well, because you know you can get
Well, that's-
Otherwise, thank you guys much, and then I'll start these notes and
from.
everything else. Thank you guys all for coming by.
Alrighty, thank you, Jaime.
Thanks,
Good
Jaime.
seeing you.
Yeah, hey,
You don't ask me
across the
to-
street.
Hello.
I don't want to come to work with you.
If it was in the backyard, my kids
Yeah,
would probably
really.
be affected by it.
Yeah, did you
But
enjoy
the-
your tour?
Just
I did. That was so cool seeing you there.
Oh, yeah.
We were walking up the
But,
stairs one day and the
I
maintenance
got
guy
to
goes,
see
"Do you
parts
smell
of
that?"
the
And I go,
box I'd never
"Oh
seen
yeah, every
before,
day."
some
He goes,
spine,
"We
I'd
put it in
never
the dryer," and I
seen
go,
spine.
"Oh yeah, every day."
I kind of wish that your world and that like language training center
Oh, we'll be a
just
better
packed full of
place
people, and
because
it's just
everybody
like,
needs
but no one worried to have like all sorts of people around.
My insurance just went up $20, please.
They're all sad.
Oh, my
I just
gosh.
saw some
Everybody
people
will
that
be
really were reconciling the fact
You
that
had a
it was
lunch?
just very wrong. The way they were just staring out into
I'm
space.
gonna start a concession stand up here on my
Wow.
street. I'm telling you, it would make sense
Yeah.
at this
Oh my
point.
There you go.
It's an interesting place to be.
I don't know, my brother does that stuff,
People in
my kid
timeout.
does that stuff, and I'm
You know, I'd make a bad jail keeper because I just have my megaphone
Looks like the
and
military
I'd be
backpack.
barking orders
My
like, it
God,
sucks
love
to be
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one too, but they're.
Neutralo for you.
So it's good for more tactical, you know, like when you got a bunch of stuff to carry and
I have
heavier
not.
weights.
Oh,
so.
you
But I
need
do
to,
like the
right?